So Chris, a disappointing day at the office here today. How are you guys feeling after that one?
Yeah, I don't think there's words to describe how we're feeling. I know that the lads in the change room, every one of us is feeling pretty low, pretty disappointed for a lot of different reasons really. And looking back at the game, felt first 20 minutes we showed a good account of ourselves, moved the ball nicely. Felt that Dino and Tyler were combining well down the right hand side, getting in a couple of times into some good positions, threatening, and we started with relatively good energy. Felt we were on top of that moment, but again, key moments in the game have an impact on the flow. They get a goal against the run of play to a certain extent, in a way where we feel, looking back at it, we could have done better 2 or 3 times prior to the goal, and that moment rocked us. I think whereas in the past when we tend to concede, it's not had that massive effect on us. It was disappointing to see that the boys kind of withdrew a little bit, got almost unnerved by it. It's the first time I've looked out on the pitch and saw players a little bit kind of nervy, a little bit worried by what the opposition were throwing at us. And that meant that we weren't able to get pressure to the ball high up the pitch, and that gave them a lot of opportunity to pick their passes forward, time their runs forward, and that's where the second goal came about. A switch of play, quite direct, runner from deep. But a testament to Hanwell, they had a game plan. They executed it. They played percentages, especially in the second half. Hit good areas, knew where the ball was going, and made those runs and made life difficult for us. But in terms of us, yes, I know we're a young side, but I've seen us be extremely physical. This team this season, against teams that have been even more kind of imposing and physical than what we've come up against today. But that's one of the most disappointing things, is that we didn't really give a true account of ourselves. We allowed that first goal to rock us, and I think it showed that we were missing 1 or 2 kind of key players today, and that's a little bit disappointing because I fully believe in the squad. I know that we've picked up a knock at the weekend with Righty, and we didn't have that option to go direct quite so much and have that focal point to chuck the ball up to and help us get up the pitch. But we've got good enough players, as we showed in the first 20 minutes and in spells throughout the game, that we can play through and get into advanced areas. But again, we turn down opportunities to put the ball in the box or get shots off or ask them questions in their defensive third, and that's disappointing. It's disappointing. The lads are down, they are dejected, but it's our own doing. It's our own doing today, and we've got to take that one on the chin. We've got exactly what we deserved, whereas previous weeks we necessarily haven't really had that. So again, we're unable to follow up a victory with a back-to-back victory. So we dust ourselves down, we feel the pain, and we use that again to going into next Saturday away at Tottenham. We'll welcome a couple of players back into the squad, and hopefully learn from today and make sure we give a better account of ourselves on Saturday.
A couple of new faces here today, joined on loan from Exeter. How do you think the boys did there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough game for them to come into, but it's the situation we're at, where the squad was a little bit thin on the ground today, and we needed extra legs. I mean, Liam's been here over Christmas and done really well. I felt he started the game nicely. It's great to see. We've got a squad of a lot of teenagers in the group, and they show that confidence, that bravery to get on the ball. And I just think that as the longer the game got on, I think that he potentially lost a little bit of confidence because of the physicality of it. But he just needs to be true to himself, because his technical ability and his receiving skills, on the whole, can avoid those kind of situations and be a bit more patient out of possession. Kieran coming on, he's explosive, he's powerful, and he showed moments that he can produce. But it's tricky for him to come on in a game where we're 2-0 down. And we're chasing the game in a team that, again, playing percentages, know how to clear, how to frustrate us as an opponent. So they gave a good account of themselves, and I'm pleased for them. It's a great challenge for them, and a realisation of what football at this level can be like, and hopefully it'll give them a bit of motivation to go back to Exeter for the weekend and give themselves a confidence boost, because they've experienced a bit of men's football, but also a learning curve. But for us, I think that as a team, we just need to be a little bit more aggressive, so to speak, in our duels. I spoke to the lads at half time about being a bit more aggressive, with contact, getting a little bit lower, because we're a physical side, but I still think that we've shown this year that we can not go shoulder to shoulder, go toe to toe, and physically compete. and today was the disappointing thing. We were a bit too upright rather than getting down and nitty gritty with the opposition, and that's probably the biggest disappointment. We weren't able to get pressure on the ball because we were taking a step back rather than a step forward, and whereas in the past that's really got us results. That's allowed us to steal the ball high up. It's allowed us to create opportunities and cause the opposition problems. But yeah, we'll look back over the video, because no doubt there'll be plenty of other teams that will play in a similar way from now to the end of the season, especially with the pitches getting heavy, the weather getting damp and cold. So we've got to be able to perform in this environment a little bit more than what we showed tonight.
You came on yourself towards the end there. How do you think you played?
Just trying to do a job, trying to get us up the pitch. Like I said, Wrighty unavailable. We needed a focal point, and just trying to give us a little bit of an opportunity to get in behind their back line or get runners off. But they were organised, and it's not really our game playing back to front, but we needed to do something a little bit different to try and get up the pitch a little bit more. But I think that it goes to show that when we miss Wrighty in that sense, we do need to be able to find a different way of being a bit more physically imposing up the pitch. Yes, we've got a lot of young players, but Dylan's athletic, Tyler's really hard working, very good in the air, but sometimes our distribution back to front wasn't always perfect for them. We talked about dropping it into the front line rather than hitting it in behind or onto the defensive heads, but that's the only reason I went on, was to try and win a few headers up the top, trying to get us up the pitch a bit more, try and pick up a couple of free kicks where we could try and create something, because we weren't able to play through the opposition today as much as we'd like. And with Wrighty out, it was 2-0 down, try and give everything we could, try and chuck the kitchen sink at it and try and find something that could drop for us, and unfortunately it just wasn't to be for us tonight, and we didn't do enough. Didn't do enough across the 90 minutes to warrant anything more than what we got.
Obviously a tough trip to Tottenham on Saturday. What's the thoughts ahead of that one? How are we going to prepare for that one?
Well, like I said, we've got a couple of players coming back into the squad available. There's players that are getting back from injury and becoming fit. Bretty now after cramp on Saturday and a good shift tonight. Hopefully he won't get any reaction. And again, bringing players back into the squad will be stronger going into Saturday. And going to Tottenham after what happened here against Tottenham, we kind of feel as though we deserve to go into that game with a bit more confidence because of what happened here, and we should be going there on a pitch that should suit us a little bit, allow us to play our game. But as long as we go there and show that physical side, we'll have a chance. But if we go there and show the physicality we showed tonight, then we're in trouble. So we've got to make sure that doesn't happen.
Cheers, thank you.